The ice doesn't crack when I touch her hand. That's the first sign something is wrong. They told me the Princess of Vareth had been frozen for 3 centuries. Political marriage, they said. Diplomatic necessity. The Vareth Empire controls half the spiral arm, and humanity needs allies against the Kresh invasion. I'm Captain Elias Thorne, decorated war hero, survivor of the Epsilon massacre. I didn't survive plasma fire and void walking just to marry a corpse in a glass coffin. But here I am, standing in the ceremonial chamber aboard the Imperial Dreadnought Eternity's Crown, staring at her through crystalline ice that shouldn't exist. The Vareth use stasis fields, not literal frozen water. This is different. Wrong. Ambassador Helix hovers beside me, his 3 eyes blinking in sequence. The ceremony requires physical contact, Captain. Place your hand upon the preservation field. Huh, that's ice, I say flatly. Semantics. His translator makes the word sound dismissive. The Empire has prepared this union for months. Refusal now would be interpreted as an act of war. Through the transparent walls, I can see Earth, my home. 3 billion people who don't know their fate hangs on whether I touch a frozen alien princess. The Kresh fleet is 6 jumps away. We need Varath's armada. I look at her face. Princess Lyra. She's beautiful in the way glaciers are beautiful. Sharp, cold, untouchable. Her skin is pale blue, her hair white as starlight, crystallized in mid-motion as if she'd been turning when the freeze took her. But her eyes. Even through the ice, even closed, there's something about her eyes that makes my combat instincts scream. Captain. Helix's voice carries warning. The Queen awaits your compliance. I glance up at the observation deck where Queen Sereth watches from her throne of living metal. She hasn't moved in an hour, hasn't blinked. The royal guards surrounding her stand like statues, their ceremonial armor absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Younger, maybe? Her helmet visor is cracked just enough that I can see one golden eye tracking me with surgical precision. She's the only one breathing visibly, the only one who seems concerned. What happens when I touch her? I ask. The binding completes. You become consort to House Vareth. Humanity receives full military protection. And if I don't, he doesn't need to. The war fleet surrounding this dreadnought could glass Earth's surface in minutes. I step forward. The ice radiates cold even from 3 feet away. My breath fogs. The temperature shouldn't drop like this on a climate-controlled ship. Something is very wrong with this situation, but I'm out of options and out of time. My hand extends. The moment before contact feels eternal. Then my fingers touch ice, and the universe breaks. The cold doesn't burn. It devours. It rushes up my arm like liquid nitrogen in my veins, but there's no pain, just absolute wrongness, as if my hand has ceased to exist in normal space. The ice begins to crack, not outward from my touch, but inward, toward her. Helix stumbles backward. The cracks spread faster. They race across the frozen surface in geometric patterns that hurt to look at, patterns that suggest mathematics beyond human comprehension. The chamber fills with a sound like singing glass, and then Princess Lyra's eyes open. They're not blue. They're not any color that exists in nature. They're the color of the space between stars, the color of nothing becoming something. And they're looking directly at me with an expression of pure terror. Her lips move behind the ice. No sound escapes, but I can read the shape of the words. Run. The ice explodes. Not outward. Inward. Every fragment, every crystalline shard rushes toward her body and vanishes into her skin as if she's inhaling it. The preservation field collapses with the electromagnetic shriek that sets off alarms throughout the ship. Princess Lyra drops to her knees on the platform, gasping, her body solid and real and radiating cold that makes frost form on the metal floor, but she's still holding my hand. Her grip is crushing, desperate. Her skin is ice against mine, but where we touch, something impossible happens. Warmth. Heat spreading from the contact point, golden light that shouldn't exist pulsing beneath our joined palms. Captain! Release her! Helix's voice cracks with something beyond fear. You don't understand what you've... One moment she's on the observation deck, the next she's between me and Lyra, her weapon drawn but pointed at the ceiling. Not at me. At the Queen. Protocol shattered, the guard says. Her voice is young, strained, requesting immediate stasis lockdown. Finally she moves. And when she does, every other guard in the chamber takes one synchronized step forward. Denied, the Queen says. Her voice doesn't come from her mouth. It comes from everywhere, from the walls, from the air itself. The binding is incomplete. A human has triggered the awakening without completion. This is unprecedented. Her hair is no longer frozen. It flows like white silk, and her skin has darkened from ice blue to something closer to human pale. But her eyes remain that impossible color. When she speaks, her voice is hoarse, unused. "Mother," she says. "What have you done?" The Queen's face remains expressionless, but something changes in the air. The temperature drops 10 degrees in an instant. "What was necessary?" Queen Sereth replies. "What you refused to accept 300 years ago when I gave you the choice. But the human has altered the equation. The binding has begun without the sacrifice. I try to pull my hand away." Lyra's grip tightens, and that golden light between our palms brightens. She looks at me with those impossible eyes, and I see something in them I recognize. The look soldiers get when they realize the mission was a lie from the start. "You need to leave," she whispers. "Before the system realizes what you've done." "What system?" I demand. The young guard takes another step closer, her weapon now aimed directly at the Queen. "Your Majesty, the human is civilian personnel. He cannot withstand integration. If the lattice recognizes him as—" Silence. Kara. "The Queen's command is absolute." But Guard Kara doesn't lower her weapon. "He's not Vareth. He's not compatible. The lattice will kill him when it tries to—" The lights go out. Every system on the ship dies simultaneously. Life support, gravity regulators, communications, everything. For 3 seconds we float in absolute darkness and silence. Then the emergency systems engage, bathing everything in red, and I hear Princess Lyra laugh. It's not a happy sound. "Too late," she says, still gripping my hand. "It's already started. The system knows he touched me. It knows he woke me without sacrifice." And it's very, very curious about what that means. The golden light between our hands pulses once, twice, and then erupts outward in a wave that passes through everyone in the chamber. I feel it wash over me like warm water, reading me, measuring me, cataloging every atom of my being. When it fades, Queen Sereth is staring at me with something that might be shock.
Might be fear.
"Human," she says slowly. "What are you?" I open my mouth to answer, but Lyra speaks first, her voice filled with wonder and horror in equal measure. "He's impossible," she whispers. "The lattice can't categorize him. It can't measure his worth. He's not registering in the hierarchy at all. He's blank." Guard Kara's weapon drops an inch. "That's not possible. Everything has a position in the lattice. Everything has value. Not him." Lyra finally releases my hand. The golden light fades, but I can still feel where she touched me, like a brand that goes deeper than skin. "Mother, what have you done? You've given the system something it can't understand. You've introduced chaos into perfect order." The Queen descends from her throne, moving with predatory grace. Every step she takes makes the metal groan. "The lattice will adapt. It always adapts. Not to this." Lyra stands, unsteady but determined. She positions herself between me and her mother. "Broke the preservation without the sacrifice. He touched me and gave warmth instead of taking it. The system's entire foundation is based on equivalent exchange. He just proved that's a lie." I'm still processing. Still trying to understand. "What the hell is the lattice?" 3 voices answer simultaneously. The Queen. Lyra. But they all say the same thing. Everything. The ship shudders. Not from weapons fire. From something worse. I feel it in my bones. Reality itself flexing, adjusting, trying to accommodate something it was never designed to hold. "The integration has begun," the Queen says, and for the first time I hear emotion in her voice. "Fear. Captain Thorne, you have approximately 4 minutes before the lattice decides whether to accept you or destroy you. I suggest you make that time count." Lyra grabs my shoulder. Her touch is still cold, but there's heat beneath it now, fighting to surface. "Listen to me very carefully," she says. "The lattice is the system that governs all Vareth society. It measures worth. It assigns value. It determines who lives, who dies, who serves, who rules. For 3,000 years, it has been absolute, and you just broke it. How? Because you gave without asking for return. Because you touched someone worthless in the hierarchy and treated them as if they had value. Because you're human, and humans don't have lattice markers." She's speaking faster now, urgency bleeding through. The system is trying to integrate you, trying to assign you a position, but there's nowhere for you to fit. You're not Varath. You're not bound by the rules. The ship shudders again, harder. Somewhere in the distance, metal screams. Guard Kara moves beside us, her weapon now aimed at the other guards. Princess, if he destabilizes the lattice... I know what happens, Kara. Lyra's voice is hard. I've known for 300 years. Why do you think Mother froze me? The Queen speaks, and her voice fills the chamber like thunder. You refused your duty, refused the sacrifice, refused to feed the lattice what it required to maintain order. I gave you centuries to reconsider. Instead, you've found a weapon. He's not a weapon, Lyra snaps. Proof. Proof that your precious system is built on lies. I feel something building in my chest. Not pain. Something else. Like pressure, like being squeezed by invisible hands that want to reshape me into something I'm not. The lattice, trying to categorize me, trying to find where I belong in its hierarchy. It can't. I feel it failing. Feel it growing frustrated. And then I feel it growing angry. The lights flare bright enough to hurt. Every screen in the chamber activates simultaneously, displaying the same symbol, a geometric pattern that shifts and writhes like living mathematics. The lattice showing itself. Captain Thorne, the Queen says, her voice tight with controlled panic. You have broken a 3,000-year-old system. You have shown my daughter that the hierarchy can be defied, and you have given hope to billions who are not meant to have it. She pauses, and when she speaks again, there's something like respect in her tone. You have started a revolution without meaning to. The question now is whether you'll survive long enough to see it through. I can barely breathe. The lattice is crushing me, trying to force me into a category that doesn't exist. Lyra's hand finds mine again. The golden light returns, brighter than before. Hold on, she whispers. The system has never encountered resistance before. It doesn't know what to do with someone who refuses to be measured. What should I do? She smiles, and it's fierce and wild and free. Refuse, with everything you are. Don't let it define you. Don't let it tell you your worth. Just refuse. So I do. I think of Earth. Of the 3 billion people I'm supposed to be saving. Of every soldier I lost at Epsilon. Of every human who ever looked at the stars and refused to believe they were too small to matter. I think of my worth as something I define, not something assigned by an alien computer system. And I push back. The lattice screams. The sound is electromagnetic, psychic, physical, all at once. Every Varath in the chamber drops to their knees except Lyra. The Queen clutches her head, her expression twisted in agony. Guard Kara's weapon clatters to the floor. The golden light between Lyra's hand and mine explodes outward again. But this time it doesn't fade. It spreads across the chamber, across the ship, racing through the lattice's network like a virus it has no defense against. I'm still refusing. Still pushing. And the system is breaking. Impossible, Queen Sareth gasps. No individual can resist the lattice. No one has the strength to... He's not one individual, Lyra interrupts. She's laughing now, tears streaming down her face. Don't you see? He's carrying the weight of his entire species. Every human who ever refused to bow. Every ancestor who climbed down from trees and looked at the stars and said, mine. He's not just himself. He's all of them. The pressure shatters. The lattice recoils, withdrawing from me like burned fingers from flame. The lights stabilize. The geometric patterns on the screens fragment and dissolve. Silence falls across the chamber. I'm still standing, still breathing, still holding Lyra's hand. The Queen rises slowly, her eyes wide with something I've never seen in an alien monarch before. Wonder. You rejected it, she whispers. You rejected the lattice's authority entirely. And it retreated. What does that mean? I manage... Guard Kara retrieves her weapon with shaking hands. It means the system encountered something it cannot control. Something outside its parameters. It means she looks at the Queen, then at Lyra, then at me. It means the hierarchy just learned it's not absolute. Lyra squeezes my hand. It means you've freed me. Truly freed me. Not just from the ice. From the system itself. She turns to face her mother, and her voice is steady and clear. And if he can refuse it, so can others. So can I. So can anyone who has the courage to say no. The Queen is silent for a long moment. The other guards remain frozen, awaiting orders that don't come. Finally, Queen Sareth speaks. This was not the marriage I planned. It's better. It's real. The Queen's gaze shifts to me, and I see calculation behind the shock. Captain Thorne, you have inadvertently destabilized the foundation of Varath civilization. Every citizen connected to the Lattice felt what just happened, felt the system fail to categorize you, felt it retreat in the face of human stubbornness. A pause. They will have questions. Let them ask, I say. My voice is rough but firm. You don't understand the chaos you've unleashed. The Lattice maintains order across 300 billion souls. Without it, they'll have to decide their own worth, Lyra interrupts, like humans do. Like they were meant to before we built a machine to do it for us. Guard Kara holsters her weapon. Your Majesty, permission to speak freely. The Queen's eyes narrow. Granted. The lower hierarchies have been restless for decades. This event will spread. They'll know one person defied the system and lived. They'll know the Lattice is an absolute. Kara's voice strengthens. You can't put this back in the box. The system is already adapting, trying to compensate, but it's failing. I can feel it in my markers. The certainty is gone. Then what do you suggest, Guard? Embrace it. If the Lattice can be defied, let's teach them how to do it right. Let the humans show them. Use the chaos as a catalyst for change instead of a spark for war. The Queen is quiet. I can see her processing, calculating centuries of implications in seconds. Finally, she sighs, a very human gesture that surprises me. Princess Lyra. You were frozen because you refused to sacrifice 1,000 lower hierarchy citizens to maintain the Lattice's stability. You claimed there had to be another way. It seems you were correct. The Queen's gaze hardens. But this solution is far messier than I anticipated. Lyra steps forward, still gripping my hand. Messiness is freedom, Mother. You taught me to value order above all else. But order without choice is just a prettier word for slavery. Careful, daughter. Such words could be considered sedition. Only if the system can categorize them. Can it? Lyra's smile is challenging. Or has Captain Thorne broken that too? I feel the Lattice probing again, gentler this time, curious rather than aggressive. It's trying to understand what I am, what humanity represents. I let it examine me without resisting, but without yielding either. I am what I am. It can observe, but not define. The geometric patterns return to the screens, but different now. Questioning, uncertain. The Queen sees it too. The Lattice is requesting input. It's asking what you are, Captain, because it cannot determine your value independently. That has never happened before. The system has always been omniscient within its domain. What happens if you don't answer? Then the Lattice will continue to malfunction until it finds a framework that accommodates you. That process could take years, during which time the hierarchy destabilizes and our civilization fragments. And if you do answer, the Queen's smile is sharp. Then I set the precedent that the Lattice can be wrong. That authority can question itself. That maybe, just maybe, worth isn't something that can be measured by an algorithm. Guard Kara shifts her weight. Your Majesty, the Royal Guard stands ready to support whatever decision you make. But speaking as someone in the middle hierarchies, we've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Not all, but enough. The Queen hears it, sees the cracks spreading through her perfect order. She looks at me for a long moment, then at Lyra, then at the Lattice's confused patterns on the screens. Very well, she says quietly. Let us break the system properly. She raises her hand, and her voice resonates with power that vibrates through the ship's structure.
Lattice, attend.
By royal authority, I command you to create a new category. Designation, undefined. Values, self-determined. Status, immeasurable. The patterns on the screens freeze. Captain Elias Thorne is the first citizen of this category. He will not be measured. He will not be assigned position. He will be permitted to exist outside the hierarchy without consequence. And this category will remain open to any who choose to claim it. The Lattice is struggling, trying to process an order that contradicts its core programming. Lyra laughs. You're giving them a choice. An actual choice. I'm giving them chaos, the Queen corrects, but apparently that's what we need. She looks at me. You understand what this means, Captain? Every Varath citizen can now opt out of the hierarchy. Choose to be undefined. It will destroy everything we've built, or transform it into something better, I counter. Optimistic. Human. The Queen's expression is unreadable. The marriage contract stands, Captain. You are now consort to House Vereth, but the terms have changed. You're not marrying into the hierarchy. You're marrying into the revolution you started. Lyra squeezes my hand. Is that acceptable, Captain? I look at her. Really look at her. No longer frozen. No longer bound by systems she didn't choose. Just a person holding my hand and asking if I want to burn down an empire's worth of tradition together. Yeah, I say. I think I can live with that. I feel it ripple across the network, feel billions of minds receiving the information that someone has chosen to be immeasurable, that the option exists, that they could do the same. The Queen sits back on her throne, suddenly looking very tired. You've given me what I wanted, Captain, an alliance between our peoples. Just not the way I expected. Humanity brings chaos. We bring order. Together, perhaps we'll find balance. Or we'll just have chaos with better weaponry, I suggest. Despite everything, the Queen laughs. I begin to see why Lyra likes you. You're honest to the point of rudeness. It's a human trait, clearly. They have much to discuss about their new arrangement. And Kara? Your Majesty? You're promoted. Head of the Undefined Guard. You'll need to recruit others who've chosen to leave the hierarchy. Keep them safe while the transition occurs. Kara salutes, crisp and precise. It will be done, Your Majesty. As we leave the chamber, I feel the lattice watching me. Not hostile anymore. Just curious. Trying to understand what exists outside its comprehension. Lyra leans close as we walk. You know this isn't over, right? You've started something that will take decades to resolve, maybe centuries. People will fight the change. The system will adapt in ways we can't predict. It's going to be messy and dangerous and exhausting. I know. And you're still holding my hand. Yeah. 'Cause I've been frozen for 300 years waiting for someone stubborn enough to break the system. I'm not letting you go that easily. Guard Kara leads us through corridors filled with Vereth citizens who stop and stare. They can all feel it, the change rippling through the lattice. The option that didn't exist before. Some look terrified. Others look hopeful. All look confused. We pass a viewing port. Earth hangs in space, blue and green and fragile. My home. The planet I was supposed to be saving through political marriage. Did we just save Earth? I ask. Lyra considers. You saved Earth by agreeing to marry me, but then you accidentally saved my entire civilization by refusing to let a computer tell you what you're worth. So yes, but also much more than that. Accidentally saved a civilization. That's going on my service record. She laughs, and it's the first genuinely happy sound I've heard from her. Welcome to House Vereth, Captain, where nothing is simple, everything is political, and you've just become the most important person in the Empire without meaning to. No pressure. Oh, there's tremendous pressure, but at least now it's pressure you chose. She pauses at a door that irises open. These are our quarters. Technically, we're married now. The binding completed the moment you refused the lattice's authority. Something about proving your will was strong enough to stand beside mine. I step inside. The room is huge, decorated in crystalline structures that catch the light and throw rainbows across metal walls. It's beautiful and alien and nothing like home. Lyra closes the door behind us and finally releases my hand. The absence of her touch feels wrong, like losing warmth I didn't know I needed. I should probably explain what you've gotten yourself into, she says, moving to a window that overlooks the fleet. The lattice wasn't just a hierarchy, it was faith. For 3,000 years, my people believed their worth was absolute, measurable, real. You've destroyed that faith in one act of stubbornness. Some will thank you, many will hate you. All will be watching to see what you do next. What should I do next?
She turns, and her impossible eyes meet mine.
Whatever humans do best, survive. Adapt. Prove that worth isn't something given by systems or monarchs or ancient machines. Prove it's something you create through actions and choices and refusing to bow. That's a lot of expectation for one soldier.
You're a symbol?
The human who touched a frozen princess and melted 3,000 years of tradition. She crosses to me, close enough that I can feel the cold radiating from her skin, fighting with heat that's growing stronger. And you're my husband, apparently. We should probably discuss that. Probably. Do humans typically marry people they just met? Not usually. Do they typically shatter entire governmental systems on first dates? That's definitely unusual. She smiles. Good. I'd hate to think this was routine. The smile fades, replaced by something more serious. I need you to understand something, Elias. I was frozen because I refused to sacrifice people the Lattice deemed worthless. 1,000 lives to maintain stability. The system demanded it. My mother ordered it. I said no. So they froze me until I'd learn obedience. But you didn't. I just got angrier and colder. And when you touched me, when you gave warmth without demanding anything in return, you proved I was right to refuse. You proved the system was wrong. She takes my hand again, and the golden light returns, dimmer but steady. Thank you for that, for proving I wasn't crazy. That mercy isn't weakness. You're welcome. We stand there for a moment, two people from different worlds connected by a light that shouldn't exist, married by accident, revolutionaries by circumstance. Then alarms blare throughout the ship. Kara's voice comes through the communication system. Captain, Princess, we have a situation. 300 ships across the fleet have just declared independence from the Lattice. They're claiming undefined status. The hierarchy is fracturing faster than projected. Lyra and I share a look. It's starting, she says. Yeah. Are you ready? I think about Earth. About every person who ever refused to be defined by someone else's measurements. About the right to choose your own worth. No, I admit, but let's do it anyway. She grins, fierce and free. That's very human of you. You're welcome to learn from it. I plan to learn from it. I plan to... We head for the command center hand in hand, the light between our palms pulsing like a heartbeat, ready to face whatever chaos comes from breaking a 3,000-year-old system. Behind us, through the window, Earth watches. My home. The planet that taught me stubbornness is a virtue and that no one has the right to tell you what you're worth. I broke an empire's system without meaning to. Now I have to help build whatever comes next. The Lattice hums through the ship, uncertain and evolving, learning that some things can't be measured. And in the command center, the Queen waits with a smile that promises both danger and possibility. The revolution has begun, not with weapons or warfare, but with one human refusing to bow and one frozen princess finally allowed to thaw. Humanity, fuck yeah. And Vareth, welcome to Chaos.